It's Monday night. I'm Molly Sanuer. It's Throne with Molly, episode 55, and I'm so excited because if y'all tune in, y'all know I love to mark where y'all are from, and we'll do that later. But there's a spot that's never been marked until tonight. Come on out. Angele by Léan. Léan, welcome. All the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Guys, you met on the internets, and he's here in real life. Pinch him. He's really here. Cheers, me. Cheers, me.
Cheers.
I told him it's a drinking show.
Cheers. It's so good to be here. I'm so excited to be on Throne with Molly.
I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm going to circle Cape Town. Guys, he flew all the way from Cape Town to New York. He's never been to the States before.
And it's a good 15-hour flight, let me tell you.
Did you go right from Cape Town to...
No, so I went from Cape Town to Johannesburg, and then from Johannesburg to JFK.
That's not bad. That's not bad. It
No,
could
it's
have
15
been
hours
like...
direct, so I had to fly 2 hours to Joburg first.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
that's
well,
long.
cheers, guys. He's here in the States. He's here in Richmond, Virginia. I like to do a lot of cheers. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Some people... I'm
For
so
the new
excited
people.
though. I'm so excited. And we've just talked, our members at Throne with Molly, we're talking about, we don't really know, we're gonna throw big, we're gonna do bottlenecks, we're gonna play.
We're gonna have fun.
We're gonna have fun. I've got
Oh,
bats
so
for you down there.
my fiance's
He's never
on.
used, is the fiance on?
Yes.
Hey fiance! Fiance! There he
That's him
is!
saying he's
Tell me
proud
what
of
that
me.
says. Oh, how many languages do you speak?
2 and then a little bit of French.
I love it. Too, a little. You probably speak more French than I speak any other language.
No,
Americans
I can
are
probably
bad
say
about
like 10 or 20 things.
Grab a bat. Let's throw some clay on.
Cool.
I've already got a bat on. And we were talking about different wheels in Cape Town, Africa, which thank y'all for sending in questions. We've got questions to read later. But like, what's the difference in, and do you use these holes,
I do.
the farther out ones? With the bats, there's like 2 sets of holes, and these are different, right? Sometimes getting the bat on is the hardest part.
Yes, and we don't have plastic bats, so we throw with what's called MDF, which is like a compressed wood almost.
Do you wedge on that also?
No.
No.
So we also wedge on canvas.
Okay.
And they tend to swell if you don't seal them enough. So then you get like a bat that's
yes,
got a
it's
wobble on
warped.
this side or something.
We get this too with this. Yours is semi-clean, mine is not, so I'm just gonna clean that. Oh, get used to this wheel, it is a little sticky. Let me turn it on.
Okay.
And this does go right or left easy. He's a lefty, guys.
I've only thrown left once though. I didn't know my one wheel could throw left, and then when I turned it to go clockwise, I threw it that way, and I was like, I'd never thrown before.
Game changer. Well, which would you prefer?
Oh, this way.
This way.
definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
perfect. Alright, so what do you think we should do over there? What are you feeling? And when you sit to throw, do you have a plan? Or do you just
No.
let the clay tell you?
Like, especially when I throw vases, I just start with a cylinder and then I take it wherever the clay wants to go.
Alright, well let's do this. So we'll start with a vase of some kind.
Oh, this is a nice big piece, okay?
Nice big piece. Very big vase. We'll do it. We'll just play, you know? We might cut them all open. We don't really know. I'm just so excited that you're here from Cape Town, South Africa.
Well, it's amazing to be here.
This
Thanks
really,
for having me.
I'm so excited. This is so cool. I love Instagram. I love that all of y'all are tuning in. So get your questions chiming in. We should be able to read them. Can you read them? Is it too
Yes,
far?
I can read them. It's fine. I haven't seen
All right.
much
I'm
of
really
them.
excited because,
There we go.
and his name is Léan, like Liam, but with an N. Léan. You just told me. Argelais by Léan.
So for
Follow
any of
them.
you that are tuning in from France, you would know that argile means clay in French, and I just put the little accent in to make it my own, and then change the word. Yes.
And I'm so excited because we were just talking that he has a whole different way of centering and everything. So I want to see it. I want to see
Okay,
it.
so where do you usually have your water?
I just put it over there, just so it's,
Okay.
pull that whole thing, like
Yes,
wheel
let
the
me
whole
pull it
thing.
closer. There you go.
Because water is crucial, we all
Yes,
know, if
and
you're a potter.
You'll also note that I throw with a lot more water than people generally do.
I throw in a lot of water too. I like that you say that because don't you sometimes feel judged by potters?
Oh,
You're using too
absolutely,
much water.
yes. You know, and I just feel like if you throw fast enough, it doesn't matter how much water you use.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you, Boo?
Cool. So what I do a little bit differently is I don't cone from bottom to top. I cone from top to bottom. I'm going to show you.
I can't wait to see. I love this show also, guys, because I usually get to learn, especially when you have a potter in the house. But you've only been throwing for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my first class was, I think, the 3rd of June 2017. And within like 2-3 months, I was able to throw bigger than my teacher. So I was just like...
Is it because of the muscles? Let's talk about the muscles.
No,
That's a big
it's
question.
not.
And it does look like you're only wearing an apron, but he's not.
No, I'm
guys.
not. I've got a
And
vest
he's
on.
engaged, guys. Okay, let's just cut the
I'm
questions.
engaged and my fiance has tuned in, so please.
Yes, that's so exciting. That's a whole nother conversation, is wedding planning and all of that. But the muscles, do you think the muscles helped you throw bigger than your teacher?
No. So you'll see now when I start centering, it's actually got nothing to do with muscles. And if it does have something to do with muscles, it's got nothing to do with biceps. It's more your triceps.
Well,
really.
and let's be real. We put the questions out, and it's all these questions about muscles. I mean, I'm centering. Nobody asked me about my muscles. How come?
Yes, and Molly throws big as well.
Yeah, I never get asked about. Well, okay, maybe like once, but y'all ask him a lot about his muscles. We all see why.
So here's what I do. I would go from the top and then move my way down.
Okay.
And then let it come into the middle like that, and then I only go up. So that's basically the biggest difference is people...
No, I like to go down because then it's like stuck on there.
Yeah, but that's how I do it all the time. So
All the time.
I will do this a couple of times until I feel it's nice and centered.
Do you, how do you know if you've coned up and down enough? Like, are you like, let's
Okay,
just
so
keep going?
what I always teach my students is if you can hold your hands over the piece of clay without your hands moving, then you know it's centered.
And so at this point, you're trying to center it.
Yes.
You're trying not to have...
So what I like about the way of doing this is it gets rid, especially with that initial one, it gets rid of the wobbles downwards instead of pulling them upwards.
Mm-hmm.
And it always, when I started doing it this way, it just felt easier for me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have these big lumps here at the bottom that
How
you're
were
trying
you
to get
taught?
up.
Were you taught to cone up and down? Because I wasn't taught to cone up and down, and I
Yeah,
think
so
that
I
makes
was
a big
taught to start at the bottom and then push it down.
Okay.
So it's only, it was only a couple of months ago, well not a couple of months, per se like a year ago.
He's only been throwing since yesterday, guys. He just started throwing yesterday. But like 2 years, it's kind of like yesterday.
Yes, sort of.
That's another question we get is like, how do you get better faster? Oh look, we're playing Augie! We went to college together. That's another, so many questions. My friend and I went to college together. We were both ceramics majors. So we were talking about, do you need a degree to throw pots?
Oh no. No, you don't.
You don't.
I don't have a degree, and as far as I know, in South Africa there isn't even an option to get a degree to throw pots.
It's not even an option.
No.
So what's your background? Tell us everything.
Okay, so...
Léan,
so
Argelais.
Yes,
By
there we go.
Argelais by Léan.
No.
Léan. Argelais by Léan.
Look at this. Is he wearing clothes or is this a new thing, Molly?
Oh my god, I love it!
I am wearing clothes.
He
I've got a
is
vest
wearing
on.
clothes, guys. He's wearing clothes, and we just talked about his muscles giving him extra strength to center. Just kidding, because I had nobody asked you my muscles. We talked about too. But
She's
so many
got quite
questions.
impressive muscles herself, yo.
Barefoot too. Are you show him your foot? Are you barefoot?
Yes,
Show-
I'm barefoot.
Can you get it? Yes.
I
Barefoot.
always throw barefoot.
I love it. All right, so you don't need a degree. Oh, so if it's not a degree option, little Léan is going to school. What did you want to be when you grew up? How did you get to throwing pots?
I actually started as an interior designer.
That makes
And
sense. I can see.
I loved what I did, and I just couldn't find accessories and nice decor pieces for my clients, so I was like, let me start doing pottery so I can create custom pieces for them. And that's how it happened. And now I am doing ceramics 90% of the time and interiors 10% of the time. So yeah, this has basically become my full-time thing.
Do you, okay, so guys, if you're tuning in, Argelais by Léan. Is that
Yes,
good?
that's
Okay.
right.
From Cape Town, South Africa. So from Cape Town, South Africa, do you know Jonathan Adler?
No.
Do you know Oprah Winfrey?
Yes.
Okay, so I love Oprah. I grew up, and she had a potter on her show, on the
Nice.
Oprah show.
Yeah.
She had Jonathan Adler, and Jonathan Adler is in New York. He's a potter, and he's now designed his own lines of interior design, and it's like
Oh.
gold,
Oh, what is that name? Does sound
contemporary.
familiar.
He's one of my favorites.
Oh, I'm thinking of Grace Adler from Will and Grace.
Look up Jonathan Adler. He's one of my, like, I love him.
Okay,
And now that you're a designer, I totally get it.
So that's where my aesthetic comes from. So I enjoy really throwing visually pleasing pieces.
So
Just
where do you
because I
sell
hate
your
typing
work?
things.
Is your like business? So you teach in Cape Town, and are you selling a lot of work? And do you sell them to designers? Are you
Yes,
interior designing still?
I've got some interior design clients in Cape Town, but most of my customers is in the US.
I feel like we talked about that too. How like even though you're so into pottery, all your followers are not in Cape Town.
So
They're
less
not
than
enough.
1% of my following is in South Africa.
Less
Funnily
than
enough.
1%. So is pottery not as big there?
It isn't as big. No, handmade isn't as big in South Africa as it is here.
And
You guys in the US and like in Europe and so on have got a much bigger appreciation for
of
handmade
the
things.
craft, I think. Because we were talking, because I went to South Africa. If y'all have been following, I chaperoned a trip to Cape Town. Shout out to any of my students who might be on. It was so fun. But Cape Town was amazing. But I only remember like pottery that was more for like tourists, like whipped out
Yes.
pottery. I didn't see like a craft boutique-y
No, you won't.
teacher like Léan. I didn't see your shop. I should have, if only I knew.
When was this though?
This was not this past summer, but like a year ago?
Okay.
A year ago?
No, I was throwing pots by then.
Yeah, guys, if you're tuning in, he just started throwing pots 2 years ago. So you were an interior designer, and
That
then
started
you wanted
throwing
to
pots
make
for
your
my
own.
clients, and then the pottery took over, and I just got obsessed.
Were you an artsy kid? Were you
Yes,
always
I was.
making
I
stuff?
was also
and...
in an art school for high school, so I've always been creative and loved creating and all that. And I think it's one of my biggest lots in life that you only get one pottery pencil and you don't get the different thicknesses and things like that, because I love drawing, but I hate drawing with a pottery pencil.
Yes. Now, pottery pencil. Tell me what that is. I don't know what a pottery.
Oh, don't you know what it is?
A pottery pencil.
Yeah, so that's a pencil, like a normal pencil that you can draw on pots with, and
Like
it
an
doesn't.
underglaze pencil.
Yes, almost.
Okay.
And it doesn't fire away, so you can draw like nice
So
pictures
you
and
would
things.
throw your pots to have something to draw on.
Yes, so I tried it once, failed miserably because you only have one sort of pencil.
Yes.
You know.
But as now doing interior design, did you draw?
No, I didn't draw for interior design. So
Did you go to
I-
school for that? Did you get a
Yes.
degree? So okay, there was an art degree involved.
Yes, there was
technically.
an interior design degree.
But there was no ceramic degree option.
No.
Oh look, do you know what that says? That's the fiance, I think.
Oh
Right?
yes, yeah. So,
And
so
he's
you're
a
doing so well.
photographer. He's a photographer, right?
Yes,
Your
he's a
fiancé?
photographer and a
Love
makeup
to art-
artist, a
and a
very
make-
well-respected photographer in South Africa.
So two artists together, is that
Yes.
the dream?
That really is the dream.
Aw.
And I think we're still trying to figure out how we can like build an empire together.
And collaborate. Well, the photo decal, you know. Guys, we're drinking out of some Frank mugs tonight. Hey, Brazil! Cheers!
Cheers.
So you could maybe get his photos and decal them onto your pots.
You can do that.
I was saying how I used to put Beyonce on my pieces, and I don't want her to ever be mad at me, so Frank it is.
I've also got a Frank mug.
Frank it is! You know, Frank loves that, so. Dream team! Next time, guys, we'll get a studio audience one day. Oh my gosh. I was actually asking if y'all might move to New York, because it seems like Léan, if y'all are tuning in, Léan is from Cape Town, South Africa, first time ever in the States, flew into New York City, went to Atlanta, just taught a workshop on how to throw big. What do you think most people consider big? Because it does vary.
Well, if I look at most of the like Instagram accounts I follow,
Who are your favorites? Let's throw that out too. Who are your favorite
so my
Instagrams?
one of my favorites would be Old Forge Creations in the UK, Joe Thompson.
Awesome.
And I really like Key West Pottery as well. And another Seattle artist. I love her mugs and things like that.
Are you going to come to Nsika?
Oh, I would love to. I'd love to. Now that you
March.
mention it, I
You
was
said
actually
2 times a
thinking of
year
it.
you want to come to the
Yes,
States.
and the
You should plan on
next
March.
trip is planned for April, so I may as well make it March.
March.
Oh yes, that's a good idea.
It's
Yeah.
yucky weather, but
Yucky weather,
yeah, March
rainy
isn't.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I love rain, so
Look,
to me that's pretty
Léan, good to see you. Do you know them? Yay, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, Sherry that said that did the Atlanta workshop.
Stop
she
it.
did
Y'all
so
had a good
well.
time. I saw the photos. Y'all did a good job.
She did really well as well, so I'm so proud of all of them. They all, like most of them were only able to throw with 5 pounds of clay, and all of them made a successful 15-pound piece as the last piece on the second day. So it was like a very proud teacher
Proud
moment.
mama.
Mm-hmm.
Proud mama. Alright, I need to watch you throwing more. So we just talked about Léan throws a little different, like starts by centering downwards, coning up, centered. I missed your opening. I should have been watching. Have a drink and watch. How would you describe your pull method here?
So I would pull with my knuckle for anything over, I would say almost like 4 pounds instead of with my fingers. And also with
So you do
the
pull with your
sponges.
fingers
Yes.
until you get big and then you
Yes.
knuckle.
And then knuckle. It just gives you a lot of more control. So if you guys
Look
haven't
at
tried
that
it.
beautiful progression. See, I'm like, what's happening? I've had more to drink, I guess. Cheers.
So yes, your knuckle
So
gives you
exciting.
so much more stability.
That looks perfect. That's, guys, if you're tuning in and you want to take a class, do you see how mine goes, This is like going to give you your great height. It's going to shoot you up vertical because you're not going to get wonky and out of control. It's like proportionately sending you up.
Hmm.
That's probably a tip for throwing bigger. Keep
So the
that shape.
reason you want this shape is, I always tell my students, pull in, not up, because the center of gravity is a lot higher here. So if you pull up, inevitably it's going to start flaring out. So that's why I always try and make like a cone shape.
Yes.
And then when you start shaping, then you can shape it in whatever shape you want to shape it.
So like I just caught myself. Right now I'm using my fingers, but maybe I should have like given this a knuckle.
Yes, you should give it a
'Cause,
knuckle. The knuckle is really
Because like,
gives you
and
so
now
much
I get to
control.
this point, now it's so tall, I have to like reshift and like re-anchor my elbow so that like I can finish. I don't know about you, how do you start at the bottom and reach all the way to the top as it gets so tall?
Oh well, I guess I've got longer arms.
Oh, that's true. How tall are you?
I am
'Cause you
exactly 6 foot.
You can't tell here, but we just did the pre-show and I never felt so short. I mean, I know it's a short place, but it was awesome. I love tall people. Wow. Wow.
And this is also something to get used to because the wheels that I have aren't this low. So what I love about this is that you can get on top of the piece. Mine are about this high, so you like basically in front
And
of
you
the piece.
sit down?
Mm.
Or do you
You sit on
stand?
a bar
I see
chair.
some people stand. I never sit.
No,
so.
I don't have standing
So you
wheels.
sit and throw.
And throw in front of you, so that it's not like
You don't have
here
the
where you can get-
leverage to like.
So this is really nice. It's something to get used to, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Look, it was awesome. We see y'all out there tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's Monday night.
And guys, if you have some questions, ask away.
Yes, we love talking clay. It's so fun for me to learn. Here I am again, just using my fingers. I just said I use my fingers. I need to use my knuckle.
And see what you do if you pull inwards, you almost never have to collar either. So if you pull in, that is one of the cool benefits of it. You don't have to collar in, which is really nice.
So what is our plan? What are we doing? Do you sit down with a plan? And if so, what's your plan?
No, I finish the cylinder and then I'm like, okay, let me look at you. How wide is your base? What shape can we do that's going to be cool?
Oh, do you make your own glazes? Thanks for the question. And I'm wiping my hands to ask more questions.
I wish I could take the credit for those glazes that I use because I know a lot of you love them, but no, I do not make my own glazes, but I do my own tests with those glazes.
That's impressive enough. I buy commercial glaze and add water.
Oh goodness, so for every successful cool glazed piece that you see, there were like 20 unsuccessful ones until I find the correct formula.
And you're good about showing collapses and fails.
I love
It's part
showing
of the
my
process.
fails, it's
Yeah.
so part of the fails.
It's so fun.
And it's one of my favorite things on earth. If I see a piece is not working out, to just push it and push it and push it until it actually fails. And that's how I learned most of what I know, is by just pushing pieces until they collapse.
If you don't mess up, you're not like, oh, well, let me do that differently. Which somebody asked a great question. When you use the knuckles, are you using the same pressure from the bottom to the top?
So I definitely use more pressure at the bottom.
And does your
release
outside
as I
hand
go
make
up.
more pressure? So
Yes.
talk about the pressure of the hands.
So
from
the
bottom to
inside
top.
hand, I only have there for support. The only time I ever start with pressure with my inside hand is when I start shaping. So as I pull up, it's only my outside hand giving pressure. It's just pushing against my inside hand. So this would basically be how I pull up. Just like that.
How do you keep that inside hand stable? Like this, my inside, I'm using my knuckle, guys. I'm using my knuckle, and my inside hand, it's like, whoa, it wants to get loosey-goosey. What's your tip for that? When your inside hand doesn't have anything to anchor onto?
Oh, so, yeah, that's just something to get used to. If you make it wet enough on the inside, you shouldn't have any problems, like, with it getting stuck in the clay.
Like, what if your hand wants to wobble? Like,
Oh,
you're
so
here,
if you
and I'm
feel a
like,
wobble, I always say just move us like half an inch down.
oh, good
and start pulling
tip.
up again.
Oh, good tip.
Just get
So,
below
like,
that wobble so that you can pull it to the top. And then you can
see,
always cut the
my
rim straight.
weird, like, that's an issue right there. See that? Like, this gradual. So, for that, I could just focus on that one area.
Yes, but what you should do here is try and collar it.
You would
So-
collar it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So try and
Would you
collar
add
it.
water? Or
On
just
the outside, yes.
on the
Collar
outside.
it.
Which I have a puddle on the inside. I just started
I'm
about
also gonna
3
get a
months
puddle
ago and am addicted. I love to attend a workshop, but
No, it's not too soon at all. So the only prerequisite I've got is that you need to be able to center clay.
to attend one
I
of
don't
his
care.
workshops.
Yeah, mine. I don't know what's your.
Because
what's your
if she
prerequisite.
just took a workshop like at her local place, there's probably a beginner workshop near you. But if you want to take his workshop or an advanced level, you've been throwing for 3 months. So
3
she can
months
probably
is
still
3 months is not beginner anymore. I
Yeah.
think you're good.
You're good. You pass.
Good. You're good.
Well, cheers to you, son. How would you say that? Sandra's tough. Sandra's tough. I don't know.
Yes, Sandra's tough.
You're tough. According to us, you're tough.
Sandra, you tough.
Guys, I love Instagram for your questions, and it's connected us from across the Atlantic Ocean and the South Atlantic Ocean. We are connected. I just think that's so cool.
That is amazing.
It's
Isn't
so cool.
Instagram is so amazing.
It is.
I didn't know what Instagram was until I started my pottery page. So
What? How thick is your base? Good question. How thick
Oh,
do
that
you
is a
keep your
great
base?
question.
Look
So
at-
I normally have a base that's at least half an inch thick, because I like making extravagant feet. And I always say I would rather have too much clay at the bottom than too little.
Preach. Oh, just recently I cut through so many bottoms. You can't put it back.
And it's
especially
awful when
inside.
that happens, because I mean, like,
It's
especially if you throw
awful.
something that you love and then you have to
It's awful.
destroy
Or
it
it's
because
someone else's, like a
you can't use it.
student. So it is better to have too much. Now, what's your theory on firing a fat, thick piece?
I always say
Because like having students, I tell mine anything thicker than your finger, it's gonna explode. But I just
So,
took a workshop and they're
no,
like, you
so-
fire it slow enough, it's not gonna explode. I'm like,
And not just that, the big thing with pottery is it doesn't matter how thick your piece is, as long as it's thick evenly throughout. So if your rim is this thick and your base is that thick, then you're fine. It becomes a problem when your rim is this thick and your base is that thick, then it explodes.
yes.
Yeah.
Because the thin part cools off faster and the thick part holds on to the heat, and then it's like, I'm cool, you're hot, I'm cool, and then boom!
And it's terrible to
It
hear that
doesn't
sound in the kiln when something explodes and you don't know what it is. And you can't
When do you
it.
open your kiln?
So a
And we
burst
probably
firing.
do you talk Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Celsius.
Okay.
So I've got no idea how to work
I
out
don't
Fahrenheit. I'm
either.
sorry.
I'll clean my hands and ask Yelp or Google or Siri or whatever her name is. All right. What degrees? You keep shaking
So
and throwing.
I open my. Oh, look at this nice little fuduntuki happening here.
No, that's okay. You saw mine. Guys, what are we throwing live? And we already said we might just cut all these in half. We don't know. All right. I'm gonna ask Google. How many
Yes.
degrees? Or
So-
do you,
I open my bisque firing. I would open completely at 200 degrees Celsius.
how much is 200 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? Gotta love technology. If when it works. So almost 400 degrees.
Yes.
I open at 300 degrees, so maybe cooler.
Okay.
But
And
That's great.
glaze firing, depending on how urgent the order is, I would sometimes I would crack it at 300 degrees Celsius. And once again, I don't know how much that is.
we could convert that later.
And then at 200, so which is, what did you say, 392 or something?
Yes, like
So
almost.
at like 392, I would crack it a bit further and then crack it at its widest at 100 degrees, which I don't know how many Fahrenheit that is. But so I open it completely at I think 130 or 140 degrees.
Now, when you're firing, are you firing your work, and are you making work for your own personal use? Are you selling it online? Tell us everything.
So most of my work are orders. I do sell online.
Where are the orders coming from?
From Instagram.
From Instagram. People get in your DM and they're like, "Can I have 20 plates?"
Yes.
And you're like, "Sure,
Can I
give
have a
me."
set of 12 of
How
everything?
long?
Please
What's your
send it to me.
turnaround time?
Depends. I used to always, I don't know why I did this, but I used to make it always a little bit too little time for myself. So I would say like 3 to 4 weeks for a set of 12 of everything, and then I'm like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
So at the moment, my lead time is like 2 months.
Matthew's popular, guys. Get on the list soon. And look, we got a question. What type of clay and glaze do you like to use?
So I
Good
love using
question.
a smooth stoneware.
Which
It's
is
like
what
my
we're
favorite.
doing here. We have standard 181 white stoneware. It's just local here.
This is a really nice layer.
I've never used anything else.
And the glaze I use is a combination, like the Northern Lights I do, that's a combination of Amico colours, so Amico Potter's
Amico.
Choice. And the black and white and the ocean glaze, that is unfortunately local glazes.
Of Cape Town, South Africa. Guys, he's in the States for the first time ever. It's 7:30-ish p.m. here, so just past dinner maybe. And Cape Town, like his
1:30
fiance should, I hope he's still tuned in.
No, you'll still be tuned in, yes.
It's 1:30 a.m. That's loyal watchers.
Do you use high temperature glazes? Like, yes. So when I fire...
And that's a Celsius. Where are you tuning in from? That's a Celsius.
Yes, thank you. I understand what you're asking.
I'm like 1,200.
So yes, I fire... Most of my firings are to 1,200 degrees Celsius. So please, if you're at home, you can Google what that is in Fahrenheit. And that's basically what I fire to 95% of the time is 1,200 degrees.
I'd have to be Googling and Yelping. Oh, Brazil! Thanks for tuning in. All right, so I love also that Léan, who Aujale by Léan. It's like Liam, but Léan. Oh, look, and Léan, she has the accent and everything. Do you work with colored clay? And River Gypsy, she's a Throne with Molly member. We saw you on the pre-show.
Yes. Hi, River Gypsy. So I basically work with the stoneware as well as a black stoneware.
I would love a black.
It looks lovely. I love the black clay that I work with. It's much groggier than the stoneware, the smooth, the lighter stoneware that I throw with. So I don't tend to throw like huge pieces with that, just because it's a bit more difficult. And also the glazes look so different on it. That's crazy.
On the black.
So different.
Yo, he was so nice. Look at my stories. He gifted me a piece. A Léan
Yes, I had to
original.
bring
And he
us some
signed it
things
like
to
he's
say
famous. The signature is beautiful. The glazes are beautiful. It's going to make me happy every day. That's the beauty of handmade pottery. It's just, there's love in it. Cheers. Frank mugs. Hello. Okay, so I love that you mentioned before you shape and think about what you want to be, you just make a cylinder. And I teach beginning high school ceramics, and we do cylinders, bowls, plates. Those are the basic forms. A coffee mug is a cylinder.
Yes.
A vase is a cylinder. Like, you can't get there until you make a cylinder. And a cylinder is that like even thickness, get that height. So you're making your cylinder, and now like what
So I'm
you
very
shape?
much into very simple forms. Ooh, and this is getting overworked. Which I just appreciate a simple form way more than like an overdone form. So I like things like teardrop vases and a double ball vase and things like that, as opposed to something that's like very overly decorative. And then I would always rather glaze them simpler than do too many colors on
And
them.
I love hearing that from you, an interior designer background. So it's
Yes.
like you're
So when I
designing
say
for
it,
the
it means
space.
something.
Yes, no, because I will scroll through, and I have my students scroll through and like have their idea of what they want to create, and I like to scroll through like a high-end luxury living and think, what can I make to go in that space? So I love that you're like simple, but obviously to each his own, and Oh, look, Nikki.
I'm not naked.
He's not naked, Nikki.
I've got a vest
It
on.
does look like you're naked. I just tuned into that. Even your shorts are like skin tone. Guys, I have a naked Potter in the studio. Oh, look, Todd the coach. That was the question. Lynn, you look like
You're wearing just an apron.
Guys, he's wearing just
Todd,
an apron.
you should know that I'm not wearing just an apron. Okay.
Everyone should know. If you follow his page, so like, are you a workout? Have you always worked out? Like
No, not always. Oh my goodness, you will not believe how skinny I was like a couple of years ago.
just like he picked up pottery a couple of years ago. He picked up
Okay,
muscles.
I'm saying a couple. It's like 6 years ago.
Okay.
So it's a bit longer than what I've been doing.
And how old are you?
I am
'Cause 6
32.
years ago, 32. So you were still like an adult-ish when you realized muscles working.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I love this. Learning so much.
I was gymming for long without seeing any results, so I don't count those years.
You were doing what for so long?
I was gymming for long,
Oh.
exercising.
So what
for
made the
a long time.
difference? How can the rest of us get muscles?
So I started just like properly researching, and then since I saw a dietitian that told me do not cut carbs out of your diet if you are gymming 5 or 6 times a week. That
And you're
made
trying
a
to gain
huge
weight. You said you were
difference.
skinny.
Yes.
Most of us are trying to lose pounds. But you're trying to gain, so
Well,
you
let me
keep the
tell
carbs.
you, the US is not amazing for losing pounds.
No,
I know
there's
that.
so much food.
I know that for the,
Guys,
for the
we
past
were
5
messaging
days.
earlier. It's like, I'm in a diner. I've never been in a diner. I'm like, oh, enjoy
And
America.
I ordered onion rings. It was so good.
Ah, were they crispy? Because
They
that's
were
how I
so
judge a
crispy.
good. If they're not, they're soggy.
They
We
were
got a
so
question.
good.
Do you ever alter pieces right off the wheel? Great question.
I would usually leave it at least an hour.
Like if you're like, right off the wheel. Boop.
So what do you guys think? Should we push these pieces until they flop? I want to try and make like a ball vase, but this clay is sort of overworked by now because we're chatting so much.
We're chatting. We're having. Don't you see? We need to have you again, like another time.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to make mine look a really tall, skinny neck.
Okay.
Let's try to see who can make the tallest, skinniest neck.
No, well, that's unfair because this is not supposed
Because
to
we
be a
weren't
shape
thinking
for
about it. Yeah. All right. Well, you know.
Well, I can
shape
try
her.
it. So, like I said,
Mine
I'm
might
gonna try and
collapse.
see
We
if
might
I
cut
fail
him in
it.
half. We're just having fun chatting. He's
That's
from
not
South
good.
Africa, guys. He's in Richmond,
Yeah.
Virginia. Ajale by Léan. Shoot.
You just
Ajale by
had it the previous
Léan.
time.
Like Liam.
Flop dance.
Hemsworth.
My flop
Flop
dance.
dance, let's do it. We'll see what
Maybe we
happens.
should
Oh
wait.
wait, maybe I need
we
to
should
ask
wait
you a
until
question.
It's flopped.
Okay. We have so many questions. Thank y'all for tuning them. Best clay body for a beginner.
I would say try something slightly firmer, just because soft clay flops easily.
Tips and tricks for bubble glazing.
If you go onto my YouTube channel, I posted a video of that last week.
You did, and it's just liquid dish soap and
And it's
some
so
glaze.
easy. It's like the most basic thing.
And it's so fun, and for people, I don't like details. Are you not a detail oriented? I hate details. And bubbles, it's like boop, it's details without detail. All right, advice for artists that want to start their own small business. Thanks for these questions, guys.
So I would say begin.
Do you have a small business? Like it's your business.
Yes, so I would definitely call my pottery business a business. It
Did
is
you
a
have to
business.
like file and like in Richmond, Virginia, you have to like go and file a business,
Oh,
like get
yes,
a tax
yeah.
ID.
Well, I haven't really done
Mine might
that far, but I
flop,
do
this
pay
might
taxes on it. I just haven't
So then yeah,
registered it properly.
but this is like your business. So what is your business model? Like how are you making? Is this your full-time job?
It is. Well, I would say 90% of the time this is what I do, and this is what I love to do. It doesn't feel like a job. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
So fun.
And I mean, hello, I'm in the US doing
He's in the
workshops.
U.S. We're talking clay and drinking on a Monday night. Guys, I went back to school today. First day of school is tomorrow.
Oh, shame.
But you teach too.
I
So
do.
as a high schooler, what were you like as a high school student? Did you have art?
Oh, I was such an emo kid.
Emo,
Oh, my
like what is
goodness.
that? Like all black?
Like a goth kid.
God,
I
stop
was
it.
so...
Stop it. I've had students say, Miss Tanya, are you emo? Because I wear all black. But I just wear all black because it's easy.
You know, so I think emo is slightly different than goth, and I was like a full-on goth, like all black and always looking depressed, and I think my favorite
Were
photo
you
of
depressed?
myself. No, I wasn't.
No,
I
you
was
were
just being a
acting.
freaking
High
teenager,
schooler.
feeling everything so hard.
Oh,
So
emo.
Todd is asking, when are you both doing your next workshops again?
A good question, Todd. Which a question was, how did you even work these workshops out? And as Todd is tuning in, I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna like.
Yes, let's I love pushing
Yeah.
these things until they flop. That's, I mean,
And you have a torch
the ones that
too.
follow me know that I'm proud of my flops.
And then look, I can push this down and then like recone up and cone down and it's gonna pop and stuff. But we have less than the time. Like we're already more than halfway through. So.
Oh goodness, we're still busy
I'm
with the
gonna
first
cone
piece.
this
We
up.
just stop chatting so much.
It's so fun though. And the
Okay,
questions are so good. So
when
okay,
is
our
our
next workshop.
When is your next workshop?
Well, I think we should talk about your next workshop because it's what, this weekend?
Yes, that's coming up on Friday in New York City.
And what's the topic and who should sign up?
So it's Throw Big, and it is basically for anyone that can sinter clay. So it's not for total beginners, it's for people that already know how to sinter clay, and it doesn't matter how much you can sinter, as long as you can sinter, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, he just did a throwing big workshop in Atlanta, and the people came barely throwing 5 pounds. They left throwing double, triple, and he almost was in tears because
Yes,
it's so
also
sweet.
nice.
I love a workshop because you really get to like make new friends.
It's almost like those people are your family for the days that
Yes.
you are there, and it was so sad to say goodbye.
Were they full-time potters? Because when I've done a workshop, I love it because it's like somebody who's not a full-time potter, but they love pottery. So they're just taking a workshop, and then you meet all these like lovers of clay. It's okay. Whoa! Yeah! Look, mine collapsed. I'm just coning up and coning down. It's kind of satisfying to feel the air bubbles pop.
Oh, so do you cone them?
If you
from
cone
the
up and
side?
down, coning up and down is like wedging on the wheel.
I know, but
You
my
can literally like
usually
chop.
when it's like, have you seen my upside down pots?
I think, and you just flip it upside down. You want to
Yeah.
flip it. Do it. Oh
So
my
I'm
god,
gonna
I'd
flip
love
this.
to
I
see
don't know if
it.
you've seen those. They
Flip
are
it.
really awesome.
Oh, look, Mary Frances, she's going to be on Third with Molly in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
She did one of my workshops, and she's so talented, and she's so sweet. She's so sweet.
That's cool.
She does painting on the pots.
Okay, so
Like-
this is what I do. Take it off.
Okay, these bats, guys, we're using these bats on these wheels.
To get this side. There we go.
A glass
And then
pot.
you always run the risk that it's going to fall off the bat. But usually when you make the base thick enough, they don't. So it's got a bit of suction, and then what you do is, and then you just give it a bit of a whirl like that to make some nice some deep carves, and there you go.
Into a luxurious home. How would you
Yes.
glaze this? What would you?
So what I really like glazing them in is in the Northern Lights, because it looks so different on this.
and
than-
what's the Northern Lights? That's
So it's obsidian from the Citadel range from Amico.
okay, I've heard of that one.
With seaweed and smoky mallow
Oh wow.
of the Potter's Choice over it.
So you're doing a lot of glaze combinations. You're not
Yes.
just dipping in white.
No, not just that.
I love to dip in white.
So I love
It looks
black
like
and
a
white.
face, they said.
Oh, I can see that. And you can always just like give it a bit of a extra.
Love.
Look at that movement.
Look at it!
Check
That would be
that.
a beautiful slow-mo. That's a beautiful form. Now, we should get 2 stools and set that in between.
Yes, so that's what I usually do. I sit it between 2 stools for a couple of hours, and then when you turn it upside down, it's a good, beautiful piece. And then I would generally trim it on top of
Alright, well give
like
me
a
this.
big vase.
You get a new bat and a new ball of clay. I'm gonna find a place, guys. Look at that movement. Now, we did talk about auctioning off a piece, but I was saying like, oh, I just don't know how to keep up with it all, but let us know. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah, we can
'Cause
maybe
I
alter
usually-
that one if it works.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll just slide these tables together.
So Sherry's asking how long do you leave it upside down? I usually leave it upside down like in this heat. Oh my goodness, it's so hot at the moment. I came from Cape Town where it's winter. Oh goodness, what's going on here?
Oh, thank you. That happened at my throwing big and everything flew off.
So I came from Cape Town where it's winter at the moment, so it's cold.
Christmas
and
in
I flew
July.
into New York last week, Wednesday, and it hit me like a brick when I was walking out of there. What's up with your wheel?
I don't know. That's been happening lately. Thank you so much. Teamwork. Teamwork.
So when it's as hot as it is now, I would keep it upside down for like 3 hours maybe, and then as you flip it, it'll stay in that shape.
I love it. That's definitely a good tip. And if you're attached and like you're like, oh, it's also fun to just let go and see what happens.
Yes,
with it.
definitely.
Such as clay. You know, it's fun. That's how you learn when you make mistakes.
I always feel like you should do the piece of clay justice. You know, don't just throw if you're like about the piece, rather fold it up and make something new tomorrow.
Yeah. Which, talking about making something new, this was my collapsed piece. I might as well just put a fresh piece on. What am I doing? We can just recycle this all. I can just recycle this.
Shall we try?
Let's try it. Let's do it.
A bottle shape now.
Let's do it. Bottle shapes coming. I'm gonna put, I guess this one. I think this was that. Oh, I don't know. I think this was softer clay. I don't know. We'll see. Guys, okay, good question. Here we go. Any tips on closing pieces?
Well,
Love
you're
this
gonna see
episode.
now.
BTW. By the way.
So we're gonna throw a bottle shape now. So you'll see how we close pieces.
Close this. And we were talking about how in Cape Town, somebody asked a great question. What's the difference of the pottery scene? This was from Evil Ceramics. The difference
Evil
in the.
Ceramics.
Do you know Evil Ceramics? Evil Ceramics, a good name. What's the
It's all
difference of the pottery scene in Cape Town, South Africa,
Uh,
versus Richmond, Virginia? His bat just.
Oh, the upside down piece just fell off the bat.
It
I
looks
was like, what's this
beautiful
cloth falling on the
though.
floor
Look
there?
at those drapes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is
So
beautiful.
the major difference I think would be that you guys here in the US have more of appreciation for handmade stuff. That's definitely the major difference. And also people in the pottery scene, they aren't as on Instagram as you are here.
So do you think that's easier or better for you, being a minority in pottery in Cape Town?
Yes. Well, I mean, when I started my
Whereas-
pottery page, I never anticipated growing like it did.
Now, but look, people think you look naked. Like, people think that helps. Like, they think I need to go get muscles and wear a tank top. It also takes, it's nice that he has skills. You should check out his page if you're not already following him. And he's only been throwing it 2 years. So what's the trick to getting better so fast?
You know what? I honestly don't know how to answer that.
Do you think it's like an
Being
innate
obsessed,
passion?
that's
Yeah.
what it is, yes.
Because what you got on the wheel, probably like obsessively.
Oh, those first couple of months of me throwing, I didn't sleep much. It was just wheel time.
So ceramics was not a major. He did not have a degree in this. He was an interior design professional. So where did you first take your first pottery class?
So the place where I took my initial pottery classes has closed down since I've left there. But it was called Art in the Forest, and it was this beautiful, beautiful place that's in the middle of we've got a big forest next to Table Mountain called Kirstenbosch, which is also the botanical gardens, but it's part of the big nature reserve that's around Table Mountain. And this huge building was like in the middle of that, just looking out into these beautiful trees. And they had a couple of guest artists there that was like, well, not guest artists, but employees there that were the most amazing artists. And they would throw and sell their pieces there as well. So that's where I started doing classes, but I think I only went there for 2 months. And then I went for a couple of one-on-one classes with the teacher that I was with at Art in the Forest.
How many teachers have you had?
I started with handbuilding. Sorry, I completely forgot about that section.
The hand?
So I
Guys,
did
if you're tuning
handbuilding.
in, Leon's not naked. I see the comments. He's not naked.
Not naked,
He's not naked. It's humid in Richmond, Virginia. It's like 120 degrees.
Yes, let me tell you, I'm not used to this heat.
But also, yeah, so anyway, so hand building, when did
So
you're an
I
interior designer.
started with hand building just because I've always wanted to try pottery. My best friend's mom has been doing pottery since I can remember, and she would have these annual sales of selling her own work at her place, and I would just like go buy everything because I loved it.
That's so cute.
And so that's basically, I think it's thanks to her that I really got into pottery, that I was so obsessed
Childhood
with it.
friend.
Yeah, it's my best friend.
Like how
We're
old
still
were
best
you
friends.
when you started noticing she was
So
doing
her and I have been friends since we were 3 years old. So it's almost 30 years.
So you've known about pottery your whole life. But you
Yes,
just-
but I mean only as an adult did I really start buying her mom's pieces. And then one day I just decided to do it.
I love that because so many people. So I'm an art teacher, full time,
Oh,
first day of
they
school.
think I look naked with my pants
They
as
all
well.
think, yeah, if you like look really close, you definitely, I could see it. We didn't plan ahead for
Yes,
that
these are like
very well.
light orange pants, and my body doesn't look orange.
I love it, but okay, I have so many questions. All right, but wait, what were we just?
Please slow down.
I know, I need to focus and slow down. Such is my life, guys. I need to slow down. But look, I'm trying to contain the shape right here. Right here. Inward,
Good,
rotate,
okay.
rotate.
I would love to see how you turn that into a bottle now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, guys. My water's all slip at this point, but I'm gonna add more. Alright, so hand building.
Yeah, so I started with the hand building, and I loved coiling. So I always intended to make huge things.
When you were in elementary, like a little kid, did they have pinch pots?
No,
See,
I don't remember.
Here,
that long
everybody's
ago.
like, oh yeah, I did clay. Made a pinch pot. Like everybody
No, I
in
think
elementary
so.
school made a pinch pot.
I mean, we had that clay that you played with, like clay dough.
that would like dry.
No,
It's
it's not a clay that you fire. It's something that's more like something that's just squishy that you can shape into stuff, but you can't fire it. It's not actually a fireable clay. So I had that, which I played with, but I don't recall ever playing with proper clay until I was an adult.
Proper clay. I love that. All right. Do you always use a bat? Is there a weight limit to using a bat?
No, I definitely don't always use a bat. When I throw mugs and thinner cylinders, I would throw directly on the wheel because I love throwing directly on the wheel.
How do you get it off?
With a wire.
With a wire, guys.
So
you
with
don't need a
mugs,
bat.
a really cool trick is if you throw mugs directly on the wheel and you want to get it off without warping them,
Yeah.
take a piece of newspaper, put it on the rim, and then wire
Like-
it off. It creates a vacuum. So,
Cover the whole rim.
yes,
with
so
a
cover
piece?
just a piece of dry newspaper, put it on the rim, just rub around the rim so it sticks properly, and then it doesn't warp. There you
Wait.
go.
Wet newspaper.
Wire.
Wire.
Yes.
Good tip. Good tip. My sister said my bronzer looks amazing. Thanks, Allison. Can't wait to come visit you. Backyard clay. It's called Play-Doh, the stuff that we don't fire.
Yes, Play-Doh.
That was my first project for ceramics. 3 or more pinch pots that in each other.
That fit in each other.
That fit in each other being flat. That's a
While
good
being
assignment.
flat.
That's a challenge.
Yeah. So back to the bat question.
Yeah.
I throw like very big pieces. I throw in bats, and bowls I throw in bats because they are difficult to get off the wheel directly. And plates I throw in bats because that's like something with a base like that that's so low you just don't get off the wheel without throwing it a bat.
And hand building. How do you prevent warping with hand build, like a slab plate?
You know what I used to do when I was hand building? I would still cut a foot ring into my pieces, and that took care of quite a lot
So
of.
you'd hand build and then put it on the wheel to create a circle?
Put it on one of those like
Banding wheels?
Yes, banding wheels. Yes, and then just turn it, and I mean I would like maybe cut a millimeter or two out of it in the center of this of the foot, and after I started doing that, I never got any warping from it.
Can we also just talk about if you rewind? Léan said, well, how are you going to make a bottleneck out of that? Because it had gotten wide. And I'm like, we'll see. I don't know.
Well,
and this is
I'm
how. This
very
is
impressed
how.
at how much narrower you made that piece.
Guys, clay is so fun. I feel like everybody who's watching, if you've ever touched clay, you just know how addicting it is. It's so fun. And you can take this, and you can squeeze it up, and you can push it down, and push it down. I always encourage my students to have a plan, though. We kind of talked about how we're letting the clay tonight.
I know people should have a plan.
It's nice to have a plate, like a plate.
But we had an initial plan for a piece. I mean, the first piece
like
didn't
throwing
need to be that.
big, kind of shaping some
Yes.
things. All right, so somebody asked about a closed form. Are you still getting there? Are you still focused?
Yes, I'm making
I'm
a
having
bottle.
just fun over here.
I'm making a bottle here, so you guys will see a closed form shortly.
And what are you making today? Thanks for asking. So we're gonna go for some throwing big, which I mean this is huge. A lot of new potters out there. That's huge. Which new potters? You're kind of a new potter. 2 years in. 2 years in. But I will say, you're kind of making me feel like a proud mama because I teach high school ceramics and a student can take a semester at a time. And now I've been there long enough that students will take it and they've taken it and they are like amazing potters. And I'm so proud of that. It's so fun.
So I also actually teach at a school.
Okay, what kind of school?
On Fridays at a private school in Cape Town, I teach, but it's only hand building. They've got, it's so cool, it's not something common in South Africa to have pottery as a subject. So what this school has done is they've got a creative arts hour. And that's anything, so I teach the pottery class, there's like music and things like that, like other than the music they already have, and then they've also got like robotics and stuff like that. So I'm the pottery teacher for that hour.
You're the pottery teacher! How many students do you have?
It varies from semester to semester, so
like 100?
No,
20?
not that many. No, it's just one class.
Oh, so, guys, they're gonna be signing up because they pick you, right? Like it's an elective.
Yes, they pick pottery. Yes.
Yeah.
They have to pick it, and I must say a lot of them come back after the first semester. Yeah,
and then you see them grow so fast, right?
Yes. So we have a lot of fun. The first thing I have them do is make a pinch pot. What are your tips for a pinch pot? Because some people, so here in the States, guys, Léan's first time in the States, students usually have an encounter with clay in elementary school. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I never touched clay. I mean, I made a pinch pot. But that counts. That does count, definitely.
Some people have never touched it.
It's a lot about the feeling and the texture in your hands. You need to, I always feel like the people that's played with clay before actually are better at starting on the wheel as well. So because they know what the texture is like and how they can push it and things like that. Because
there is something to be said when your clay is wet, like this is like woo, and versus when it's leather hard and bone dry. And somebody asked you a great question, what are your favorite tools? Do you have a good question?
So I do love mud tools ribs, but I always use the red one, which is the softest one.
Oh wow! I never use a red because I'm like, it's so soft. What does it do? It's soft.
I mostly shape all my pieces with the red mud tools. Yeah.
This is what I love about clay, and I tell myself, there's no, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. There's always a new way. He loves a red. I don't even have a red in my studio. I have a yellow, and I have a green.
Yeah, so I recently bought myself a couple of mud tools and had them imported.
I should have told you to go to our clay store today. He was in Richmond, Virginia for like 10 hours. I should have told you.
Yes, I arrived this morning.
We have a clay store, and that's something else I find is lucky that do you have a clay store?
Yes, we've got it. But we've got a very limited variety of products other than South African products. So I, for instance, didn't even know that there was more than 2 shapes of mud tools until I checked out their website myself. And
what about Amazon? Does Amazon ship to you? Like
yes, it does. But it's very expensive because we pay a lot of import tax. So it's not that easy.
What about when you ship your work? So Léan said most of his interactions are not even in South Africa.
Yes, so 90% of my work goes to the US.
How do you deal with that? How expensive is the shipping?
So I've got an account with a very well-known courier.
Korea?
No, courier.
Oh,
courier company.
Wow! Korea! I don't think we've circled you on the map.
No, so I've got an account with one of the big courier companies, and I get amazing rates with them. So that's how I ship.
That's good.
Because otherwise, I mean, if I didn't have this account with them, it would literally cost me $300 to ship a mug to the US.
So how much does it cost you to ship a mug?
Right now, it costs me $22.
As opposed to it would cost you $300.
Yes, and then it's here within 2 to 3 days, and it's all sorted.
Now that you've done that flight, how does anything get there to here in 2 days?
Oh, I have no
idea.
idea.
All right, can I just getting you? I'm not focused, but I'm gonna still try to close this. Was that the question to close these? Look,
yes,
I'm gonna try
so
right now. Closing, inward. Nope. Gonna pick it back up though. I'm gonna pick it back up. Brazil, another
Yes,
Brazil.
I do. I've sent quite a couple of things to Brazil.
He ships worldwide. He's a worldwide guy, guys.
So the courier company I use ships everywhere, every single country. I've shipped to Saudi Arabia, I've shipped to Lebanon. I ship all over Europe, Australia, like literally everywhere. So if it's not on their list yet, when I ask them, it's on their list.
I love that. Any other questions, guys? Because I think we're almost at our 2-minute warning. We're getting to the end here.
Okay,
This has
already
been so
long.
fun. I already want to
so let me just start coloring so you guys can see.
Yeah, because...
So what I do is I usually spin relatively fast, but because we're chatting so much, this clay is really getting a little bit overworked. So I would just close slowly.
And
my hands,
like you
my
are
hands
anchored.
Just closing like that, basically. So you want it to touch at like 4 points, and then just close it. And so what I would do here as well is I would close it, and then because you're closing it, it makes the rim thicker again, so it gives you some more clay to pull up again, and then collar again and pull up, and collar and pull up. But the main thing is just do it slowly, okay? Because the clay is already been working for, well, I think now 20 minutes.
What would you say to somebody like me? Do I have
So keep this and make it an arty piece.
Boom! It's organic.
Yes. I love those pieces. I mean, my upside down pieces are some of my favorites. And glazers do such cool things on flop pieces. So I wouldn't say keep every flop, because in the beginning you get a lot of them, and you don't want to have a house full of like 300 flops at the end of the day. So there's really special flops, keep them and see what you can do with them.
Love that. So gentle.
Oh, Cappy Clay, I'm so glad that you've been to South Africa. I agree, it is a really nice country.
And I love that.
And I'm obviously biased.
And you're born and raised in...
Yes, I am.
Yes. And I was saying how I chaperoned and went on a safari, and I loved that you were like, yeah, we go on safari too, even though you live there. It's
Yes,
not like
so
touristy.
safari for South Africans is also amazing. We grow up by going on holidays and on safari as kids and things.
Do you watch Below Deck? Do you watch any Bravo TV?
I don't know what Bravo
Nobody
TV is.
watches Bravo TV. Andy Cohen, my idol, he's on the Bravo TV, and they have a Below Deck. There's gonna be like one person who also knows what I'm talking about. And Joao is South African.
Oh, okay.
And he's on the show. And he talks about going on his safari and how he's very primal. And they like kill and eat their animals. And do you hunt and eat your animal? No.
I know there's a big misconception that every South African has an elephant and a lion and things like that. That is not the case. Elephants and lions are not friends. They will kill you if you are close to them.
Have you ever made a friend though with an animal that is like safari? Have you ever like...
So there are a couple of like rescue centers close by where they have like cheetahs that were hurt and then they rehabilitate them and stuff like that. So I am a huge animal person. For those of you that follow me know that I've got 5 dogs.
Somebody asked about your dogs earlier. That's
no,
right. I didn't realize you had 5 dogs.
Yes, 2 Great Danes, 2 Labradors, and a Chihuahua.
Wait, you have the big dogs and then a little Chihuahua?
So I've got the biggest breed and the smallest breed.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. We can get Andy Cohen to throw with Molly. That would be a dream, Todd the coach. I'd love to come. Oh, we have less than 2 minutes. Guys, so thank you so much. Look at you bottlenecking that form.
So this is basically how you would color you. It's a slow process of just slowly respecting the clay to make a smaller piece. Or to go narrower and narrower and narrower, and as you go narrower and narrower, you just pull up a little bit more.
Because you just made it thicker, so now you're going to pull,
yes,
and
now
then
you're
collar,
making it thinner
and then you pull.
again.
Guys, this has been such a treat. Thank you, Instagram, for connecting Léan and I from South Africa all the way to Richmond, Virginia. Thank you so much for coming. You're a busy guy doing your workshops in Atlanta. And if you're in the States, New York.
New York is coming up on Friday.
Friday and Saturday?
Yes.
2-day?
Yeah.
2-day workshop in New York. Catch him while he's here. Hopefully you'll be back though. You seem to have gotten the States bug.
You guys have a lovely country.
And it's fun to see different cultures and such.
So
this
fun.
is the best. Do it. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for all the questions And members, we might hop over on the after show and maybe color in a little more. If you're not a Throne of Molly member, make sure you sign up for that. You get all the extra lives. Any other words of wisdom?
Oh, the only thing I can tell you is don't be sad when you have a flop. Embrace them and just push your clay until it flops. That's what I like.
Are you coming to Ensika? Great question. Are you coming to Ensika?
I think I
It's in
should.
Richmond.
I think I should, yes.
Best show ever. Thanks to y'all for tuning in and making the best show ever. See y'all next Monday. David Camden, another Potter's here. But cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.